I think I may have found some decent news when it comes to Beam. And what is that? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, not too long ago when it comes to the Beam account on X, they announced something that I think is pretty decent. For instance, they announced the Forgotten Playland and Beam integration is live. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, what is the Forgotten Playland? Now, allegedly, this is developed by Vermilion Studios, and it's a social party game. And when it comes to this game genre, I'm not too familiar with it, but the way I take a look at it, just from looking at it, just the visuals, like from some pictures, it kind of reminds me of Viva Pinata. That was a game that I had a long time ago in Xbox 360, but yeah, that was way back then. And again, seeing that, you know, image of like, the games, right? It kind of reminded me of Viva Pinata, so I just thought that was pretty interesting, I guess. But even besides that point, when I take a look at, also, right, they did also announce that this was available on Sphere. And again, I'm talking about Forgotten Playland. And I'm talking about when it comes to the case of Sphere, by the way, this is the NFT marketplace in the Beam ecosystem, again, Sphere. So I kind of like it, right? I like this addition to the NFT marketplace, just the game in general. Hypothetically, who knows how well it will do moving forward? We'll have to wait and see how well it really does and what it's really going to do ever. Who knows, right? But then I still kind of find this pretty decent nonetheless because we got to think about this. When it comes to the hype for blockchain gaming, as of right now, it's not that good, in my opinion. So the fact that, like, Beam is still kind of doing something, I think that is a true testament to as to how special it is because other blockchain gaming projects out there just kind of feel like they pretty much gave up for whatever reason. I mean, I kind of know the reason a little bit because, maybe the price isn't doing good and whatnot, but then sometimes it doesn't make sense because sometimes I see that, hey, you know what? The project is actually pretty decent. Why are they giving up? It doesn't make any sense. But what I like about Beam is that they're kind of still at it, and I just kind of have this vibe that it's not something that is treated as a part-time thing because some other projects out there, it kind of feels like the team treats it as a part-time thing, and maybe it is for them, who knows, in certain situations, but I like a project that the team takes seriously. I like those type of projects that the team really dedicates to because it gives me more, I would say, kind of reassurance, even though there is no way to tell how well a project will do in the future. I'm totally aware that, like, I can't tell the future. But then at least it just makes me feel good. When it comes to Beam, sometimes people like to say, ah, man, it's over because they think it's not good and all this type of stuff. But I still believe in its future. And 25 cents, hypothetically, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though that's not financial advice. And some people out there, they like to think, okay, but Beam's not really making an impact in blockchain gaming. Well, beyond this, right, we have to take a look at what Beam is doing, just like generally speaking. Beam is an open source blockchain specialized for gaming. And one of its main components is the Beam SDK. Now, SDK stands for Software Development Kit, but even besides that point, this allows game developers to choose from a variety of tools that can be used to feel and structure their in-game blockchain elements. So that's pretty interesting. And I think just to kind of harp back when it comes to blockchain gaming, sometimes people like to say, okay, the future of it doesn't look that good. And only time will tell, but we have to take a look at something called Grandview Research. They predict that the blockchain gaming market by 2030 is expected to exceed $300 billion. Now, again, the way you take a look at it is just a hypothetical projection, right? Like, who knows if it's ever going to be correct? Because how can we? We're not in 2030. That's still like around 5 years away at this point. But I'm just saying, the way I view it is that when it comes to blockchain gaming, at least, I think hypothetically, it could be something that might do something special. So in theory, why would I kind of, not believe in it? We have to take a look at why Beam, I think, is a very complete ecosystem because beyond, Sphere, right? The one I talked about earlier, the NFT marketplace. And by the way, I'm not talking about Sphere in Las Vegas, even though it does look pretty cool, but again, it's not that. It's, an NFT marketplace. But even besides that, we have to take a look at other aspects of quite essentially the Beam ecosystem. We take a look at BeamSwap, which is a decentralized exchange. We take a look at the Beam Layer Zero Bridge. We take a look at also the Beam OS, which is a portal for exploring tools and apps on the chain. There's the Beam Block Explorer, a tracking platform for all Beam transactions and statistics. So I think Beam is pretty complete. Let's say Beam were to go to the price of 25 cents. Considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $12.5 billion, around a 45x from here. I get it. It may be like, whoa, like, come on, take a look at the altcoin space and whatnot. I'm kind of aware of that, but the way you take a look at it is that, hypothetically, if the markets, as say, did very good and altcoins really went along with the ride, this doesn't seem that unrealistic. I mean, back in 2021, so we're talking about years ago at this point, during the peak of that bull run, around 300 million crypto owners. And then Dogecoin reached over $80 billion in market cap. So are we saying around 12.5 billion is like too much to ask for? This doesn't seem too outlandish to me. It's just a waiting game at this point for me. I'm staying patient because the market, it's going to wake up when it wants to, and it's not going to want to wake up when it's not going to want to. So then I can't control that. The only thing I can control is literally myself. And that is just by me believing in projects that I do believe in, holding and just waiting. Literally, that's it. This is just my perspective, but I'm looking forward for maybe better days ahead. And Beam, man, I'm very excited for its future. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.